If you're new to golf and feel overwhelmed by clubs, swing tips, and YouTube advice, you're not alone. Tonight, I'm answering your biggest beginner golf questions and helping you understand the game, improve faster, and avoid mistakes that hold most new golfers back. Drop your questions down in the chat. No question is too basic. That's what we're here for. All of the questions tonight are ones that I've gotten through email, through comments, or people have asked me. Hey everyone, I'm Doug with Golf Reboot. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you see all of our videos. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. I'm documenting my journey to becoming a scratch golfer after 14 years away from the game and sharing everything I've learned to help you get better faster. So if you're a newer learning golfer trying to improve your tee shots, iron play, putting, or just enjoy the game more, we are here for you. So question number one, what clubs do I actually need as a beginner? So there's a couple different ways to go about this. Now, you need all the clubs. You should really get a full set. If you don't want to spend the money on that, obviously there's different ways to go. What I would do is go out to a store somewhere. You can get a box set, 300 bucks maybe, and that'll be a good beginner set. If you don't want to go that route, if you're not a big fan of those stores, I love Golf Galaxy, but I get it if you don't want to go to a Dick's Sporting Goods, something like that. You can look on Facebook Marketplace. There's tons out there. I've bought in a couple clubs over time and you can get good deals. It depends where you're located. Right now is wintertime in New Jersey where I am. We're expecting 13 inches of snow tomorrow. So right now is a really good time in the off season. So you can get good deals with that. Now, what you should not do, you should not go out and buy a brand new $3,000 set. If you are learning to golf, please don't do that. Get something that'll work for now because you need to learn the swing, learn the mechanics, learn the game first. Once you do that, which I'm not even to this point yet, you go out and get fitted and then you can spend more money on clubs. I've started spending a little bit more. I just bought a driver that I really wanted. That was expensive. Bought a putter I wanted because putting is something that's something that I'm good at and the putter affects me. So don't spend tons of money. Get something that's reasonable for now. And then over time you can go out and get fitted. When you get fitted, what they do, they figure out what club works for you. Now, if your mechanics are absolute garbage, the fitting's not going to help. I mean, they can do a lot, but if you're not swinging well, the fitting isn't going to help you anyway. So don't waste your money. Learn how to play the game. Follow along with our videos, follow other people, get a trainer, get a coach, whatever. Go through our program that we're putting out. We're putting out a beta program for free on how to learn to golf. Do that kind of stuff. Play for a while. See if your swing speed comes up because shafts are also very important. If you get something like a regular flex and then your swing speed comes way up and you need a stiff shaft, it's going to hurt you. Now, big things to watch out for when you're buying. Don't buy like a kid club because the shaft isn't going to be right for you. If you're a guy, don't buy lady flex because unless you're older towards the senior side, they have senior flex for that, but there might be too much bend in the shaft. When I start whipping my driver, right now I'm swinging at about 110 miles an hour. Even with a stiff shaft, you can see it start to bend. That's fine. But with a regular flex or a lady flex or a senior flex, I would have too much. I wouldn't be able to control it. So that's a really good question. I really like that one. And I think that's big. So, question number two, how do I grip the golf club the right way? So, another good one because the grip, that's your connection to the club. I say all the time that you need to be as if the club is part of you. There's different grip trainers. You can find them on Amazon. If I think of it after this, I'll put a link up there. But basically, get a golf grip trainer. You can get a full club. You can get something that slaps onto your clubs. You you need to pick the grip that's right for you. I use the interlock. Some people use the overlap, and some people use more of a baseball. That's a lot of people who have played baseball. They stick with that because they're comfortable. To me, the interlock is what gets me feeling the best with the club, and that's important. Now, a couple different ways. If you're a big slicer, you might go with more of a strong grip where your left hand comes a little more under. If you tend to draw or hook the ball off to the left as a righty, you might need to come over and be a little more weak. Neutral is a good place to start, and then you can adjust from there. But the grip is something you really need to get down. You can check out some of our videos. We talk about it a lot more. If you have a bad grip or an inconsistent grip, you're going to have problems. And over time, you're not necessarily going to get better because you've got that play all the time. Make sure you keep your fingers, you want them in your fingers, not in your palms, and you want it nice and loose. On a scale of 1 to 10, I talked about this in my last video. On a scale of 1 to 10, you want to be at about a 3 to 4. You don't want to be death gripping, and you don't want to throw the club. 3 to 4 will be good. It'll let you swing the club through, whip it, get some speed, and that's what you're looking for. That lets you release the club. It'll swing it around. You'll make good contact. Oh, this one looks like it's from me back when I was in high school. Why do I keep slicing the ball and how do I fix it? So a lot of times there's two main reasons for a slice. The biggest one is an out to in. So if I was swinging and if my stance is too closed off initially, when I come back around, I'm throwing the club out or casting it, and it's going out to in. When you do that, the club is coming at the ball like this, and you're swiping it. Now, if you do that with a club face that's open, you're swiping it, ball's going to start and fade off. What you want to do when you get up to the top, you want to drop your hands. Drop as you're turning, and what that'll do, it'll get you into out, which is going to either hit the ball straight or you might get a nice little draw. Right now with my swing, I'm more of a baby fade, I would call it. It might go 10 yards off to the right, and I can play that. The biggest thing, once you fix your mechanics, figure out what you want to play. To me, it's hard to hit a draw just because of the way my natural swing is. I'm not overly flexible. So I do struggle to go completely into out and to make contact that way. It's something I'm working on, but right now I can play that. I'm hitting the ball probably average 260 in the air, and it's got that nice little fade that I know I can play. For the most part, it's in the fairway, sometimes not, but I know that I can play my next shot. So that's what I would do. I definitely use my Rapsodo MLM2 Pro, and that showed me a lot of what I was doing wrong. So gives you all the videos you could use. You can see what you're doing, and it's perfect. All right, for any of you on here, what's your handicap? How long have you been playing? And what's your biggest struggle? Let me know down below. We can talk about it. All right, so next up, this is another good question. How far should I expect to hit each club as a beginner? That's really going to depend. If you've never played before, don't expect much. What I would suggest, pick a 7-iron. Take your 7-iron, use that to learn to swing. Don't even touch the woods, don't touch the driver. Those are much harder, they're longer clubs. The 7-iron was always one of my favorites, still is. If you learn that, that's to me midway through the irons. And if you can swing it, you'll start getting consistent. You adjust a little bit up and down as you're going for the different irons, and then you'll get more used to it. Now, the bigger thing than how far can you hit it is, can you gap your irons? You want 10 to 15 yards between. So if I'm hitting my 7-iron 150, my 6, I want to be about 160, 165. That's so that anywhere out on the course, you know how far it's going to go, you know what club to use. Over time, as you increase your swing speed, which should not be your goal right off the bat, as you increase swing speed, it's going to increase ball speed, which is going to increase distance. So club gapping is something that's constantly changing. So go through, learn how to swing the club, get used to that, start playing those distances, get out on the course. Every time your speed goes up a little bit, work on regapping so that you know. Right now, my 7-iron, I'm about 145 to 155 pretty much all the time. As I go up, my 6 is 155 to 165, and it goes on like that. I know my pitching wedge right now, probably 125. So my gaps aren't perfect, but they're pretty much, I know where I'm going to hit it. I even go through and gap my wedges, so I know with different swings, I take with all my wedges, unless I'm taking a full swing, I'm taking a 9 o'clock coming up to here with it, but I grip in different places on the club. What that does is it controls the length of the club, and with the same speed, same swing, I know how far I'm gonna hit the ball. Best way to practice if I don't have time. So I said this in a video and I thought it was funny. Realistically, if you're watching my shorts that I post or even some of the longer videos, you probably spend 15, 20 minutes on the toilet every day on social media. If you can find that time, you can find time to practice. It doesn't have to be a ton. There's plans out there, there's things you can do. I have a free guide that you can go to that helps you practice, golfreboot.com/free guide. It'll give you a quick practice session that you can do. But if it's cold out, right here today, it was about 10 degrees. If you don't want to do that, go in your living room, go somewhere you have a carpet, practice putting. Winter's a great time for that. Get some foam balls off of Amazon, and you can even practice some chipping. Don't use real golf balls inside, it's not going to end well. Um, but really, it's about the time you put into it. I'm probably out in my garage, which I built a little simulator in. There's videos on that too. I'm probably out there 3, 4, 5 times a week, and you can definitely get better. You don't need a ton of time. By having something at my house, I can go out there whenever I want. Yes, I go to the range. Yes, I go to the course. But to learn the mechanics, having it here has really helped me, and it doesn't take tons of time. Now, if you're interested in building something at your house that's a little bit more instead of just chipping and putting in your house, check out Rapsodo. I've got the MLM2 Pro, like I said. You can go to playbetter.com/golf reboot, save a little money. They have all different stuff. You can get a full simulator or you can build your own. There's a video a couple weeks ago I did on how I built mine outside, which I call the GIF, and it's really changed it. All right, next up. Do I really need lessons or can I learn golf on my own? So, one of the first videos I did when I really started ramping up was about not needing to go to a pro for lessons, and that one had mixed reviews. Not so much because of what I said, but because old school thinking is you need to go to a coach to learn. Now, as I've said before, I golfed in high school, golfed for 4 years. I really didn't learn the finer things of golf. We had a coach. He was also a teacher at the school. We had a bunch of players on the team. You really don't get that one to one. Now, with a PGA pro at one of the driving ranges, you're probably better off. They understand the game, but you don't necessarily need that. I still fully believe it. Now, the pros, they have coaches, they have things, but there is a way that if you want to, it might take you some time. You can go through and you can learn. And a lot of that is I spent hours and hours on YouTube. And that's something that, it is what it is. It takes time. That's why I'm building this channel so that you don't have to. But if you pay attention to what some of the people are saying, not everybody out there is great, but you can learn little things here and there. And that's what I did. I learned little pieces that I'd go out, swing 10 shots, take a look at my swings on the Rapsodo app, and see, oh, yeah, no, I'm doing that. I would tweak what they said and go from there. So it took me basically all of last winter. And eventually I got a swing that when I went out on the course this past spring in 2025, on the first hole I played, I still put one in the woods. Now, I have a tendency on the first hole that I never do better than double bogey. That's just a mind thing. And it's a problem that I have. Getting better with it, but first hole is always a problem. But anyway, back to it. You don't necessarily need lessons. If you're the person that can go and do something and focus, fine. If you need to pay someone to force you to go out and do it, that's fine too. Some people need that. For me, I'm not huge on people telling me what to do and when to do it. So, what are the biggest mistakes new golfers make? Question number 7. Um, so for me, it was just basically being stupid. I wasn't ready to be out there, didn't know what was going on, assumed I was just going to pick up a club and be good at it because people in my family were. That's not the case. The last video I just put out, that was on 5 mistakes new golfers make. But I think the biggest thing is assuming they don't need to put in work. You do need to put in work if you want to learn golf. It's all mechanics, it's all in your head. It's not so much just hitting the ball. Anybody can look at a ball, swing, and hit it. The question is, where's it going? Now, I know people that they've never touched a club, they pick up a driver and they can hit it 250 first shot. The only problem is the fairway's 40 yards wide. They just hit the ball 3 fairways over if we were on a course. So that's a problem. You need to be able to aim, you need to know how to swing, you need to know all of that. So the biggest thing I think is dumping a ton of money on clubs that you're not ready for, assuming you're going to be good, not putting the work in or asking for help, and then, shooting your mouth off. I think that's the biggest thing. People shoot their mouth off and talk about how great they are. Now, I've gotten to be pretty good. I'm not a pro. I'm never going to be one. Um, my goal is to become a scratch golfer. Don't know if I'll ever get there. But the biggest thing for me, I'm having fun out there. I'm enjoying it. And that's what you need to do. You're not out there to get stressed. Yeah, we all get angry with bad shots, but enjoy your time. Don't get stressed. You shouldn't be more stressed when you get home than when you went out. Golf is a great way to relieve stress, I'm told. But honestly, this past year I had a lot more fun with it. And it's a complete mental change for me to have fun out there. I stopped playing for a while because high school golf, it got to the point where having to always score well, it just wasn't fun. Now my score doesn't matter. I keep them in my head, keep them on an app, but realistically, it doesn't matter. None of it does. You're out there having fun. So to me, that's the biggest thing. Learn the right way. Don't be stupid with what you're spending and just enjoy it. Put the time in, practice, and when you're out on the course, enjoy it. All right, so we've got question 8. How do I improve my consistency and stop topping or chunking shots? That comes down to mechanics again, but there's another piece of it, mental. So if you're constantly topping or chunking, it means that you are hitting either behind or in front of the ball. When you're swinging, especially an iron, you want to be making contact with the ball first. So you're hitting the ball and then the ground. Your divot should start right around the middle of the ball and go forward. Now, you don't want a beaver tail where you're tearing up tons of grass. It does happen if it's wet out. But if you're topping or chunking, that means you're not making good contact. What it probably means is when you swing, you're coming down and looking to see where the ball went before you make contact. So what I do, there's a test you can do on eye dominance. I know I'm left eye, so I keep my left eye on the ball and I hit, come up to my finish, and then I look up. That's going to force you to always be looking at the ball. Pick a spot on the ball, whether it's a dot that you make, or if it's, I play the Titleist Pro V1, I might look at Titleist on the side and focus on that. That also helps you to not think. Now, something that I've tried recently, if you are looking for a little bit more concentration, there's a company called Dubby. They make great energy and hydration drinks. I've tried them. Flavors are great. Go to w.gg/golf reboot. You can save some money, try them out, and I think they're really good. It's not one of the big brands out there right now, but I like them, and I think they'd be good to help you with that. All right. Number 9, we're coming towards the end. Let's see, no questions in the chat. What should I focus on first, swing, short game, or course management? Yes. So, anyway, swing obviously first. You need to have the mechanics there. Whether you try driver, iron, wedges, doesn't matter. You can't practice short game or course management until you know how to swing. So number one, get your mechanics set. Might have to tweak it over time, but that's fine. Once you do that, focus on short game and putting. That's the biggest thing to me. You can save a lot of strokes there. That's what I did in high school. In high school, I had a nasty slice, hit the ball 150 yards straight, 50 to 75 yards to the right. So a lot of times I teed off with irons. Now, what saved me was from about 150, 100 yards in, I could get on the green, I could be pretty close. With my putting, two putts and usually I was in. It's something that I really focus on now too. This past year, I was trying to figure the driver out because I always had problems with that. Now I've got that pretty much where I'm happy. And I did let short game go a little bit. Well, now I want to start scoring better. So I'm focusing this year on my short game again, having all my different wedges, my different gapping, and especially putting. I've always been a pretty good putter. I don't think I had any four putts in 2025. Had a couple threes because I was being dumb. But if you can chip and set yourself up within 10 feet or so, you're golden. That should be a two putt. That shouldn't be a three. If you're three putting from 10 feet, that means you're not focusing on the putt. And that means go back to the drawing board. I've done videos on my putting plan that I use. It's basically putt capping, and I try to lag putt so that anything I do, I'm getting within 3 feet. If you can't hit a 3 foot putt, don't go out on the course. So focus on your swing, short game, and then course management before you even really worry about the driver. Course management can also save you strokes because it's teaching you how to play the course, not the other people, not your own mind. It's the ball, the course. Get from the tee into the 4-inch hole. So course management, things like if I know with my 54-degree wedge, usually 110 yards, I can put it where I want. If I'm hitting the ball and I land at 135, so that's right between my pitching wedge and my 9. Can hit both of them. It's not perfect for either. But if I can lay up from somewhere and be at 110, if I can be at 85 with my 60 degree, or if I'm inside 50, any of my wedges, I know what I need to do to get on from there. So if you can plan for that, and instead of putting yourself in a bad spot, get a little bit closer or get to a yardage you can hit from, that's course management. That's perfect. Now, if you once you're learning more and you're ready to start practicing, if you need a plan for it, go to golfreboot.com/free guide. Like I said earlier, that's the plan that I use when I practice. I'm not just driver, driver, driver. I honestly hit more wedges and other things than I do the driver because you use the driver on 18 holes, 4 par 3s. So you're basically driver on 14 holes. If you hit them in the woods, you might hit a couple more, but realistically, that's the club you're going to use the least. Or at least you're not going to use it as much as all of the irons combined, all the wedges combined, your putter. So I focus on starting with my 7-iron because that's my normal. And then I work down towards the wedges. And then you can work up towards the big stuff. You finish off with some driver shots, that's great, but you're not going crazy with it. All right. How long does it realistically take to get good at golf? That depends on what you think is good. Now, my goal is scratch. Some people want to break 100. I think 100, if you follow the steps that we give, you you can break 100 this year. No problem. If you put the work in. If you want to break 90, 80, it's going to take more work. It can take you a couple years. It can take you forever. You might never get to where you want to. But that's kind of what's fun with the game. You never know. Wind could kick up. You could have a great drive. Wind kicks up. Boom, it's gone. So the way I look at it, I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to help you guys. That's what this whole channel is about. I don't need to do this. I want to. And I would love for more people to follow. I would love for people to tell me that something I said helped. But if you want to get good at golf, just put the work in. Don't worry about the time. It's going to take time, yes, but have fun while you do it. Look back and see where you were a year ago. What else can we say? Got no questions still. Hopefully next time we'll get some questions. And another thing with getting good, if If you're hitting below 100, you're good compared to most people. A lot of people only go out a couple times a year. They'll say, "Oh, yeah, I hit 80." Probably not. If you're playing in outings, it's a scramble, it's whatever it is. And I have no problem with taking the ball, giving yourself a better lie on the fairway if you're in a divot. Especially a lot of courses around me, they just don't have the manpower to fix the stuff all the time. But a lot of times when people are telling you how well they're playing, it's not necessarily true because they're magically finding balls in the woods. They're giving themselves better lies. They're marking their putt and then putting the ball 3 feet closer. So don't worry about that. Worry about yourself. And another thing you can do, you can make yourself feel better out on the course. Check out bustedgolf.com/golf reboot. They have tons of clothes, tons of different accessories. I think they're a great company. They support first responders. I'm a firefighter. I've been one for 18 years. And they're just a great company, great group of guys. So check them out too. And if this helped you, let me know in the comments. Which one of these are you going to fix first? With all that, it's really important as a new golfer to not fall down and get trapped with common mistakes. If you want to prevent those, there's a video popping up over here about the 5 common mistakes new golfers make. It's things I wish I knew when I started. Don't forget to subscribe. Sorry. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you see the rest of our videos and become part of the Golf Reboot family so that together we can play better, have more fun, and love the game again. See you next time.